Hi, my name is Amanda Henderson, and I am the director of the new Institute for Religion, Politics, and Culture at Iliff School of Theology. I am just starting this new project, which I'm super excited about after working for the past 6 years as the executive director of the Interfaith Alliance of Colorado. I am so grateful to be invited to be your speaker at your annual conference this year. What a time we are in. It has been quite a year to experience a pandemic and all of the things that have come with that, the loss of loved ones, so many who have experienced illness and adversity, people who have lost jobs. As congregations, we have adapted to new realities, learning how to do church online, to do small groups and communities and pastoral care and funerals and care for those most in need during this difficult time. We have also experienced a racial reckoning and a reminder once again of the great disparities that we face in our country based on race and the ways that we need to address that systemically and personally every day. Additionally, we have had another presidential election, which brought wild division within our communities, within our country, within our families, experienced an insurrection of the Capitol. Things have surely been chaotic. And at the same time, you and I both know that there have also been moments of deep holiness, that we are not alone, that we have not been alone, that God is with us every step of the way, that God has been with us, moving and stirring, weaving and creating and connecting, even in the midst of adversity. This puts us aligned with a long history of people who have experienced God's holiness and connection in the midst of pain, separation, division, and loss. And even knowing that we are a part of a long history of God's people, that doesn't make it any easier, does it? We still are faced each day with navigating how to create connections in the midst of these divisive times, how to stay whole when everything seems so fragmented and torn apart. So during our time together on these three segments, we are going to talk about what it means to stay connected in the midst of division. What are the ways that we can develop practical tools and skills and ways of being that tie us together, that root us down in what matters most, and remind us to continually reach out, to open ourselves to connection, to love God, to love each other. So over these three videos, that will be the theme of our time together, creating connection in our divisive times. The first thing I wanted to talk about as we do that work of creating connection across our divisive times is the first piece is remembering who we are. I often think about when things get hard, the first thing I do is kind of pull in a little bit like a turtle. I've got turtles all over my office because that reminds me of that reminder to come into my home, my spiritual center in God, in my breath, and reflecting on who am I? Whose am I? What do I believe at my core? How is that being challenged in this moment? Is there anything I need to reflect on and change and alter in order to be more in line with my hopes in that ground of being of who I am? Muhammad Ali has a quote that says, if a man is the same person at 50 as he was at 20, then he's wasted 30 years of his life. I feel like that is so true. And it's this reminder to me of, even as I remember who I am, I notice those threads that have brought transformation and change and growth that open me to see myself more clearly and to see others more clearly. For me, that work of stepping out and building connections begins with knowing who I am. I can't enter into relationships or into spaces with people who are radically different than me, who might see the world in ways that I have trouble reconciling, until I have deep clarity about what I believe and why and how I want to move in the world, until I am cultivating ways of being that have deep alignment with that way of being in the world. So as we break out into our small groups, you'll be led, I believe, by your district superintendent. I want to leave you with a few questions to hold during this time. The first question is, are there one or two core principles that guide you when the going gets tough? Are there two core principles that guide you when the going gets tough? The second question is, have you ever experienced a challenge to one of those core values? And if so, I invite you to share that story of what challenged your core values, how you navigated that, and how you came through it and what you learned in that process.